Hey everyone, top 3 photos with disturbing backstories, part 3. Have you guys seen it? Because we haven't.
All right, let's jump into it.
Today, I'm going to share with you 3 progressively more disturbing stories, and at the end of each of them, I'm going to share with you a picture that is famously associated with them. But before I get into today's stories, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious
how do I subscribe?
Format,
Tell me.
you come to the right channel
How do I
because
like?
that's all I do, and I upload 3, 4, even
What do we
5
do with the
times
button?
every week. So if that's of interest to you, then please throat punch the like button and then subscribe to the
Oh,
channel.
damn!
Turn on
Oh
all
my God.
notifications so you don't miss any of my weekly uploads. All right, let's get into
Throat punch the like.
Aggressive. Very aggressive.
Support!
Take him out!
Between 1974 and 1975, a criminal who had been dubbed the Visayala Ransacker had been terrorizing the Eastern District of Sacramento, California. Initially, he would break into people's homes when they were sleeping by prying open one of their windows. He would go inside and basically ransack their house. He wouldn't steal any of the major valuables that were right in plain sight. He would just kind of throw things all over the place and would take one or two small things, probably as a souvenir. Unfortunately, by the summer of 1976, this Visayala ransacker was not only not caught, but was also no longer satisfied with just breaking into people's homes and ransacking them and taking a few things. He had moved on to killing people, and so he had been given a new nickname, one that just about everybody knew at the time, and that was the Golden State Killer. Once he began killing people, he became much more cautious about how he would actually go about attacking them. He would oftentimes break into his victims' homes while they weren't there, and he would walk their property, look for guns and unload them. He would look for any security cameras or devices and turn them off. He would plant ligatures, pieces of rope and twine that he could use to bind people's arms and legs. He would place them in their house.
What?
And he would leave. And he would study his victims and get to know their patterns and know when they were going to be in the house, when they were going to be in certain rooms. And then at some point, he would sneak in through a window at night while they were sleeping, and their victims would wake up with him standing over them with a flashlight in their face. On the rare occasion where neighbors or police had actually spotted this guy, they saw that he was wearing a full face mask and he was very athletic. He was able to elude police capture and would jump over fences and would run away. By the end of 1976, when the Golden State Killer had still not been caught, citizens of Sacramento became furious with the police. They felt like they were not doing enough to try to catch this guy. So on November 3rd, 1976, the police actually host this huge town hall meeting, and they invite all the citizens of Sacramento to come be a part of it, voice your complaints, listen to what police are actually trying to do to catch the Golden State Killer, and basically just have an opportunity to air your grievances a little bit. During the meeting,
does anybody have any ideas on how we can do our job?
Stands up and basically starts making fun of the Golden State Killer, calling him weak and a coward, saying, you know, you're preying on women. If you ever came to my house, I would totally beat the crap out of you. Like, this guy's a joke.
It's a plant, I bet.
Everybody in the town hall meeting just totally ate it up. It was like this one little victory for the town of Sacramento is we're going to put down the Golden State Killer for being weak and a coward. Then, in an ironic twist of fate, that guy who was making fun of the Golden State Killer, he and his wife became the next victims of the Golden State Killer.
Makes sense.
He was at the meeting, probably.
The Golden State Killer changed his entire MO. Instead of kind of targeting random people all over Sacramento, he began only targeting married couples, and he would always attack when the husband was home. For decades, the Golden State Killer eluded capture and even taunted the police in threatening phone calls all the way up until 2001. But in 2016, they reinvestigated the Golden State Killer case using DNA evidence, something that was not available in the 70s and the 80s when they were investigating these crimes. And it was through this reinvestigation that they were able to capture 74-year-old Joseph D'Angelo, who was, in fact, the Golden State Killer. D'Angelo pled guilty to 13 counts of first-degree murder and was given 12 consecutive life sentences.
Oh my God.
When the killer was finally identified as Joseph D'Angelo, police were going through some of the older case photos and they made a startling discovery.
He was always there!
November 3rd, 1976 town hall meeting, and there in the middle of the photo is none other than Joseph D'Angelo, aka the Golden State Killer. And he was there when that citizen of Sacramento stood up and began berating the Golden State Killer, saying how he was a coward and weak.
Why wouldn't they make like the? Why wouldn't they make him a plant?
And there's Joseph D'Angelo sitting there.
Oh, you mean like a
like setup,
an undercover?
Yeah. What does he do? He targets the guy that's.
You taunt him, and then you have that house ready for him to come.
Apparently, he was so upset that he changed his entire MO and only targeted married couples from that point on, as if he was proving a point that you can't touch me.
That's crazy.
He was right.
Yeah. I mean, he
In 40 years or something?
Took him forever.
He was skipping school regularly and hanging out with the wrong crowd. Tyler's parents had tried to do everything to get their son back on track between doctor's visits, psychiatry appointments, medication, an outpatient mental health program, but none of it seemed to work. Tyler just was on the wrong path. As Tyler's behavior continued to get worse as he got older, his parents just didn't know what to do, became very frustrated with him, and became very, very strict disciplinarians. One night when Tyler came home and he appeared to be intoxicated, his parents took his phone and car away, and Tyler was furious. And he confided in his best friend Michael Mandel that he thought his parents had gone over the line, that they were over-disciplining him, and he said to Michael that he wanted to kill his mother. Now, Michael knew Tyler and had known him since he was a little kid, and he did not think twice about this claim that, Tyler wanted to kill his mom. He just thought that Tyler was frustrated with his parents, and Michael did know that Tyler's parents were very, very strict and hard on him. So he just kind of wrote it off. Not long after this
you can't do that
Tyler
nowadays.
starts talking about this huge house party he's going to have. And all of Tyler's friends, including Michael, just didn't buy it. They're like, there's no way you could ever pull this off. Your parents are too strict and they never leave town anyways. But every time people approached him, he would say, oh no, my parents aren't going to be there. They'll never find out.
No.
At some point, Michael gets a Facebook invitation to Tyler's big house party, and he sees that it's been sent to so many people. It's been sent well beyond an inner circle of friends to just total strangers. And then on the Facebook invitation itself, someone had posted on the wall, hey Tyler, what are you going to do if your parents come home?
Dude.
He responded to that, they won't. Trust me. On the day of the party, Michael shows up to Tyler's house and it is packed with people.
Oh my God.
Lots of people he didn't know, and he was fairly certain Tyler didn't know them either. And he goes inside and
he literally invited everyone
about the house itself.
You think they're already dead inside?
People have spilled stuff all over the ground. There's
for sure.
glass on
He
the
said
ground.
they won't
That's
find
true.
out.
Through the food in the fridge, no one cared about the house. And Tyler, oddly enough, didn't seem to mind at all. The only time Tyler became on edge was when he felt like the party was getting too loud. And he would go around and tell people to be quiet because he didn't want his neighbors to hear, because the neighbors would call the police and he didn't want the police coming to the house.
Yeah.
During this big party, Tyler pulls Michael aside and says, hey, I got to tell you something. Come outside.
No way.
Tyler looks at Mike and just says, Mike, I killed my parents. Michael doesn't believe him, but Tyler says, no, look in my driveway. Their car is still here. They did not go to Orlando. I killed my parents. Michael still didn't believe him, and Tyler said, go inside. I bet if you look around, you'll find blood in my house. So he goes inside and he starts looking around.
Cocky bastard.
He sees there's blood on a table right outside the master bedroom where Tyler's parents slept. And on the door handle to the master bedroom, there's also blood. So he goes back down, and he goes, Tyler, you're playing a prank on me. And Tyler goes, no, when the party dies down, I'll show you proof. At this point, Michael is starting to think this could actually be real. And Tyler walks away, and Michael's thinking to himself, I can't wait till the end of this party to see if this is really true or not. So he goes upstairs, goes to the bloody door handle to the master bedroom, opens it up, and the door actually hits the leg of Tyler's father, who's laying on the ground, who's deceased inside of the master bedroom.
Fucked.
He shuts the door, and he's standing in the hall, and he doesn't know what to do. Because on the one hand, Tyler's his friend, but he just discovered Tyler's a murderer. He knew Tyler's parents really well, so he's deeply saddened by what he just saw. And as he's standing there, he's realizing that he has to turn Tyler in. And so for some reason, he just felt the need to take one more picture with Tyler, because he knew as soon as he left the house, he was going to go tell authorities what Tyler had done, and he was never going to see him again.
Yeah.
And so he goes over to Tyler and he takes this picture. After Tyler was arrested, he admitted that just hours before this house party, he had bludgeoned his parents to death and stashed them in the master bedroom. Tyler was sentenced to 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole, and while he has been remorseful, he's never given a real reason why he actually killed his parents.
Oh,
that's
just because they made me mad. Took my phone.
Tuesday,
Oh my
April
God.
20th, 1999, a Colorado high school student named Brooks Brown noted something strange. His on-again, off-again friend named Eric had missed all of the classes that morning, something that is totally uncharacteristic of Eric, who was a straight-A student. At lunchtime, Brown left the high school to go to the designated smoking area in the parking lot, and he saw parked in a very far away spot, somewhere that he never saw him parked before, was his friend Eric, who was in the back of his car pulling a large duffel bag out of the trunk. Brown puts a cigarette out and walks over and asks Eric, where have you been all morning? And Eric turns to Brown and goes, "It doesn't matter. I like you, so you should leave right now. Go home." Brown was taken
That's a warning.
Tone and the general
Is this the Columbine story?
But Eric was always kind of a wild card. He was a guy that had in the past vandalized.
Sound familiar?
When it was in Colorado, and I know it was in the 90s.
About Brown. And then simultaneously, he would brag to Brown all the time about different accomplishments, like he desperately wanted approval from Brown. So it was a very strange relationship they had. Brown doesn't really know what to make of this, and so he kind of just shrugs his shoulders, turns around and walks away, while Eric turns around and continues doing whatever he's doing with his duffel bag. Brown gets back over to the smoking area, and he's thinking, maybe I should just skip class and go home, because maybe Eric has some prank that he's got planned that he's protecting me from. And as he's sitting there smoking his cigarette, thinking about whether or not he's going to stay or go, he hears noises coming from the high school that he immediately assumes are fireworks. And so in his mind, he's like, looks like he was planning a senior prank. He's lighting fireworks inside of the school. But then the sounds got faster and louder, and he turned to look at the school, and he heard people screaming, and he knew those weren't fireworks, those were gunshots. Brown immediately runs to the nearest house, knocks on their door, and is able to get a phone, and he calls police. After Eric had spoken to Brown, when Brown came across the lot and asked him what he was doing, and then ultimately Brown turned around and walked back to the smoke pit, Eric had turned his attention to his duffel bag. He had pulled it out and dragged it across the lot to another car where one of his other friends named Dylan was also getting his own duffel bag out of the back of his own car. Inside of their duffel bags were propane tank time bombs that they planned to place all around the school in an effort to collapse the ceiling of the cafeteria, because what they wanted to do is get people to start running out of the school so they could start shooting at them. Eric and Dylan's car were parked far away from their usual spots, kind of strategically located near where first responders were bound to come in, and they had rigged their cars to explode so that when they did come through, they would detonate and hopefully take out first responders as well. Eric and Dylan had also placed another timed explosive on a field about 3 miles away that was purely a diversion. They were hoping it would go off, it would get police and first responders over there first, giving them more time to inflict max damage on the school. But with the exception of the diversionary bomb that did go off, none of the other explosives in the high school actually went off. So Dylan and Eric had to go to plan B, which is to walk right in the school and just start shooting. At the end of the day, 12 students from Columbine High School in Milton, Colorado had been killed, along with
that's
crazy, as well as Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, the two shooters. At the time, this was far and away the deadliest American school shooting. This senior class picture was taken 2 weeks before the Columbine shooting, and you can clearly see Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold pointing finger guns at the camera. At the time this picture was taken, they both knew what they were going to do to the students in that picture, because they had been planning this attack for over a year and referred to it as Judgment Day.
Wow.
So that's going to do it, guys.
Every time I hear this, I feel like I get more and more insight on what happened.
I know.
And it freaks me out.
I know. I never really dove into the story. I didn't know their names.
Yeah.
I just knew how terrible it was.
Ugh. Well, that was a dark one to end it on.
I know. And that photo, too.
Yeah.
They were like letting everyone know.
That's messed up. Well, on that note, we'll just end it there.
Yeah.
Because it's
a sad one.
That's a sad one. Well, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, see ya.
Bye.